Hey everyone. So, a lot of people have been doing buffalo plaids, and I've got a lazy way to do it. Sorry. So what I do is I start and I glitter the whole cup with the mixed color. So this is a red I have, and this I got bulk a while ago. I'm not sure from who would carry this exact one. I also don't have a true black, but I have a very, very, very deep navy. That's called Deep Water from Glitter Island. So I'm going to use these two. I mixed those two together and I formed a mix. Mix that together, put it on the cup, sealed it and let it sit overnight. I didn't do a great job at sealing the bottom, but it's good enough. I based the cup black first before I did that. Okay, so now I'm going to tape it off. I've got 3/4 inch automotive masking tape here. This is probably the hardest part, is just getting it even. I know there's a few templates going around. If you have them, use them. I always forget to cut them out before I'm doing this. So and this part is a little hard to get on camera, but I'm just splitting it down the middle. On both sides. Trying to see what I'm doing. And then for this one, I'm gonna do it in thirds. Be a little bit bigger. So as you can see, a tiny bit of glitter is coming off, but not enough that I'd really be concerned about it. If you base your cup a color that's in your mix, if a little glitter pulls up, it's not a big deal because that color is just going to show through. And it'll look like your mix anyways. The taping part is very difficult to do on camera. So I've got a couple that aren't very even. I'm not going to spend too much time fixing it just because this is for a video and I don't want to sit here messing around with it too much. But you can go around and adjust. I cut my pieces way too long. Just to get it as even as possible. Sorry if my turner is a little noisy in the background there. I've got some cups going. Okay, that looks all right. So I'm gonna do, so that's what the bottom looks like once I'm all done. It's fairly even. I'm sure you guys can get a little bit better if you're going to do that. And I'm going to start at the bottom. Just go around. Try to get this row as straight as possible, because this is what's going to be your guide for all your other lines. Okay, so once I have that one line done, I try to start all of my tape lines on the same row, so that way when I'm removing them, I'm going to be able to see them a little bit better. I just add a piece of tape on top, on that side, flip it around. Do the other side. Get it lined up. And you're just going to go around, just trying to make sure that it lines up with the tape that goes on the other side, so you get nice even squares. I'm going to take that off and move it up. This is really going to be the most tedious thing. And doing it this way, you use the tape for about a minute and then it all comes off. But it's needed. There's no real way to do it supremely lazy. You still have to tape. You still have to make sure your grid lines are nice and straight. And move it up. I was trying to wait for pure black to come in before I did this video, but I had these cups to do, so I figured I'd just get it done now. So this is Scotch 3/4 inch automotive masking tape. A lot of stores carry it. I got mine, I'm in Canada, so I got mine at Canadian Tire in the automotive paint section. It's a little tackier than what I would like for the tape I'm using. But it does work pretty good. And sorry if I'm not on frame. It's really hard to tilt this and be accurate at the same time. That's pretty close. So for these up here, because it's got this little lip, this is an 18-ounce Hydrosport bottle. I am going to tape this off when I'm done, and I will do this gold or silver just because I don't really want to deal with going into those grooves. It'll be a nice little accent. So it's all taped off. I'm just going to go off frame, and I'm going to spray this with Loctite. Super 77, Elmer's, any spray glue, permanent spray glue you have, or you can go in and paint each square. You use less glitter if you paint each square with a glue. I just want to do this fast for video, so just give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my darkest glitter. I just sprayed the whole cup. Might have to do a second coat. But that's okay, that'll just take a second anyways. So just go ahead and get your glitter on there. Okay, I'm going to tap off pretty good. So I didn't get full coverage on this one, so I'm just going to go and spray it one more time. Alright, so got that sprayed. Just going to get this back into my container. And we'll go along one more time. Overly complicated about this process. The next step involves a little bit more detail work. Okay, that looks good. Now don't worry about knocking this one off into the black because pretty much all my mixed color is covered anyways, so I'm not going to be getting a bunch of red and stuff in there. Okay. Just trying to get this ready. So now it's removing the tape. I gotta find where my tape line starts. I always forget to mark it. And now I can't find it. There it is. Ah! Oh, just spilled some glitter off frame. Okay. If you have tweezers, this would be a good tool to use. So I'm just going around removing the tape. The glue is a little stringier than I would like because I did the 2 coats. I would normally just go in with a brush and do this, but I kind of wanted to keep it fairly quick and easy for this video. And I can't find my starting line again. Oh, oops. Okay, so we know it's somewhere over here. Should be somewhere over here. Oh, I'm just gonna slice that. There we go. This one. Get off my finger. Okay. And the last one. I must be blind today. Come on. I'm just going to slice it again. There we go. And this part's fairly easy. Just go around and take it off. Helps if you start with the first one. Of course, the tape touched that, but that's okay. So kind of struggled with the tape here, but you can see we got some pretty nice crisp lines. Now what I do before I go on to brushing on the next step is, in case there was any glue that seeped through, I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle my mixed color because I don't want, when I go ahead and sprinkle my red, for it to stick to any of the spots where it leaked. Okay. There. So that's pretty good. Move that out of the way. So I just went and got some glue. I normally use artist grade mediums, but those are normally clear, and I didn't have any white ones on me, and I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing here. So my brush is a little stiff because I didn't clean it very well, but that's okay. Okay, so all I'm doing is going in. You don't want your red to be on the same square or row, or the same row or column as your black squares. So I'm going to start at the bottom because the top is going to be a little bit more difficult. I should have left that tape on. That's okay. I'm just going to go up. And I did water this down a little bit just so I have a little bit more working time with it. And if you don't get it perfect, it's okay. You can come back with a little tool, even the end of a brush, a skinny end of a brush, and just clean up those lines a little bit. So thinning it just allows me to go in and do one column at a time instead of glue, glitter, glue, glitter. And there are some absolutely perfect examples of buffalo plaid out there. Mine, I do my best. I'm not great at straight lines, but it's not noticeable enough that I'm overly concerned about it. Just do your best. Like I said, you can always go back and clean it up if you need to. A little too much glue on my brush there. I'm just going to extend this a little higher than what I would, because I'm going to tape it off later and add gold once this is dry. And then you'll never know. Just helps me get a line. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with the red. Just gonna bang it off on my mixed color. And there we go. Now once this dries, I will go in with a brush and brush it off, and that's going to clean up my mixed colored lines, because right now it's got just a bit on there that's sticking, and that's fine. Okay, so next row. Again, you never want it to be on the same row or column as your black. You want it like a checkerboard running diagonal from them. And just go around. Now I know this isn't the fastest thing, you kind of just have to do it. I'm not going to skip through this because I want you guys to see exactly how long this takes me. It's got a little mucky there. I should be using a little smaller of a brush. I forgot this was the 3/4 inch and not the 1 inch that I'm using on my other cups I'm doing. But that's okay. Thing is, I think cups should be as easy as possible so you can do volume. I know not everybody is selling, but if there's an easier way to do something, I think it's important that we try. And again, knock off on the mixed one. And we got a nice little row again. Sorry, I hold my paintbrush in my mouth when I'm, instead of putting it down, so if you can't hear me that well, that's what was going on there. And we just go again. Just connecting the squares at the corners. So I'd probably use the next smallest brush in the set. This is just a little, it's pretty much exactly the size, but when you put pressure on it, it wants to fan out. It's a little harder to get cleaner lines. That's okay. And so we're half done that now. Oh, I knocked it onto this one. Oh well, see, it happens. There's not too much block that transferred in there, so I'm just gonna live with it, but I'll try to remember for the next one. Things always happen like that when you're doing a video. You forget. So concentrated on making sure I talk and I'm not just being completely silent on you guys. I know there's nothing worse than watching a video and you can't, sorry, and the person doesn't talk at all and it's just kind of a little boring. Oh, it's not all that exciting. So this one, this black kind of messed up a little bit. So I'm going to go around later and I'll just touch that up. Or you can do the trick where that's where you put the decal. I guess on this cup you might not be able to because it depends on how the lid screws on, but on say one with a pop on, if there's a little square that you don't quite like, you can just hide it. And this column is done. Well, at least I remembered that time. So only 2 more left to go. Oh, that's a little much. Put it there. This is a little faster when you're working by yourself and not videotaping. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame so you guys can see what I'm doing, but that makes it a little difficult for me to see what I'm doing. But I know these cups have become really popular, so any way to do them a little bit faster, maybe a little less daunting, is always good. And this is going to be my first YouTube video. Once I post it on YouTube anyways. I've done a few lives in various resin and tumbler groups. I had an alarm go off, so hopefully I can splice these videos together. Forgot to put do not disturb. That's okay. And our last one. Last column. know some people like the foam brushes, using the foam brushes. I find I just have better luck with just a regular brush. These are just dollar store brushes, nothing fancy. But everybody has a preference, and whatever works for you is great. Doesn't need to be everything exact. And it doesn't have to be just red and black. It can be any color. My next ones I'm going to do white and gold. I thought that would be pretty. All right, last row. And there we are. So that is pretty good. I will go and clean up a few things up here. As I said, I'll put gold, clean up that area. I don't do the bottom. I'm just not. I leave it the mixed color, or I'll do gold or silver or something. Some I tape off. So now what I'll do is I'll seal this and let it sit, and then I'll epoxy tonight, tomorrow. You want that glue to really dry on you before you go crazy. So this is one I had done yesterday. Still needs a decal. I say decal, must just be where I'm from. And then, yeah. And then another coat of epoxy, and it'll get all cleaned up. So that's it. All right, well, thank you. I hope this helped. And get out there and try something new. Okay, bye.